day on, from now into eternity. It's going to continue to happen because until that time, we get in contact with our feelings, we're going to still have the problems that we have in the world right now.
That's right. And that's when it's fear.
Mm-hmm. You talk about that.
As young men, as men, as boys, whatever, we are male men.
Yeah.
Society trains us that, and we shouldn't be scared of nothing.
Yeah.
Fear.
Yeah.
That. That we should be feared of things like that. Or it could be the other way around. We can be feared of things that make us seem weak or less than a man.
And it is so true, Brother Dwight, when you talk about fear, is that we are trained not to fear anything.
That's right.
But see, what happens is when we get to a position as a man, when we don't show our emotions, that fear factor takes control over us. When we get into a certain situation, we act out in violence and may kill somebody because with the fear thing. Instead of us being able to talk about the problem, we'll let that fear inside. We ain't let nobody else know, but inside we're scared. We're scared, right or wrong. We're scared, and so what we'll do is we'll act out on that fear that's inside of us, and then we'll come out and we'll lash out in violence to protect that shame and that fear that's within us, so we don't let nobody else around us see that. But what they see is the masculinity, quote unquote, what the society says masculinity, by sticking up for our pride. But in actuality, it's shame, and you're covering up that fear because you have not shared the emotions because you have not been trained how to talk. Woo, that's powerful.
Touching and holding.
Oh, and we gonna. Oh yeah, yes, this is powerful.
And I just wanted to read this. Read 2 lines. We are a touch phobic culture and describe how boys are taught not to hug.
Yes.
That only handshakes are okay. Yet holding is important.
That's right.
Is an important aspect of feeling security.
Yes.
And touching is an essential part of holding.
Yes.
Both are confused with sexuality.
That's right. That's right.
Unfortunately, the only touching that is condoned occurs when anniversary sports with physical and mental bankruptcy or foe is to the aim. So the thing is, first from a sports standpoint, it's okay for a male slap you on the back, hug
or slap you on your butt backside. Yeah.
Anything outside of that, something wrong with you.
Oh, something wrong with you. You see the double standard there?
That's right.
Instead of we embracing one another's brother, because we do that here in MSF. When we greet each other, we give a holy kiss. We hug each other. We say we love each other as men. I send it, and every morning I send out a text each morning. Good morning, Brother Dwight. How you doing? Hope you have an awesome day. Love you, brother. We have to learn how to express the feelings that God put in us. If we don't do that, then we are robbing ourselves of the main thing that God created us for. What? Relationships.
Right.
And how do you cultivate a relationship if there is no emotion there?
That's right.
If there's no touching or holding? You don't have to be in a homophobic way.
Right.
But see, that's how the enemy wants it to be.
That's right.
And what that does, that separates us as being men. It's all right to do it with a woman. But wait a minute. We as men, we have feelings, and why can't we embrace and show love for one another as respecting my brother and let them know I love you, brother, no matter what. I'm here for you to support you.
That's right.
So when we don't do that, then that's why we lose contact and we lose the relationship that God created us for. We lose it because we have allowed the enemy to come and split us apart by putting the homophobic or the sexuality thing in there, which it has nothing to do with that.
It has nothing to do with it.
Whatsoever. Man, good God from Zion.
Eye contact. Every person needs to be part of a group and desires to bond with. Be identified with members of that group. It is through the eyes that we merge and fuss with one another.
Yeah.
Some professionals believe that this may have occurred most intensely as babies when feeding, gazing for long periods into a mother's eyes. Or as teenagers when falling in love for the first time, they only have eyes for each other. Instead, we are told not to stare, and so we block this very natural impulse.
Eye contact, and we do that. And I'll put an example. When a man goes in the bathroom to go to the urinal, to go to the bathroom, and another man comes, what do? No, we look at ourselves. We look straight ahead. We don't look over there, right? You see what I'm saying? But what I say that to say this is because we are trained not to look at another man.
That's right.
You know, but we always have to put the sexuality and the homophobic thing in there. Now, of course, you ain't a man going to the bathroom. Yeah, okay, you got the same thing I got. Ain't nothing going on there. But the point of it is that we have to learn to have eye contact, so we can relay our feelings and how we feel, so you can understand where we're coming from.
That's right.
But we don't do that. We'll look down, or we won't look at, you know what I'm saying? And now back home where I'm from in New York, you look somebody in the eye, they think you trying to jump them off or trying to rob them or something. But see, that's how society does.
That's right.
But see, when a woman communicates, they talk eye to eye, don't they?
That's right.
There's nothing there, because they can be able to relate, but we don't do that as men. You see what I'm saying? See how society destroys it?
Failures. Some professionals believe that some men may fall into this trap by assigning too much importance to their jobs and careers. Failure is seen as shameful and unmounted to being cursed.
Yes.
They also acknowledge participation comment about men who in general are blamed by women from failing in so many roles.
Yes.
From being poor fathers and husbands to becoming rapists, child abusers, and mass killers.
Yeah. So basically what we're saying is that we let failure take control of us.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? And once it takes control of our mind, we act out on there, and then when that shame comes in, we can do some of these acts that what you were just talking about, that it propels us as men to make people feel, or I shouldn't say that. Our failures bring out the worst in us.
That's right.
And what I mean by that we want to fight back to people, to let people see our masculinity. They can turn into rapists, they can turn into murders, to show people, well, I'm still a man, I ain't gonna let nobody run over you. But failure does not mean that you cannot get out of that failure and be a success in life.
It's like, I'm gonna give two examples. Like Elliot Rogers.
Yeah, Elliot Rogers.
When he had that problem parties with girls.
Yes.
And things, he was always upset because the other guys did. He said that, and we did a couple of broadcasts prior, when he said that the women will respect him.
That's right.
And he went out and did what he had to do to get that respect.
Yeah, because he felt like a failure.
That's right.
Because he couldn't achieve what the man box said he should achieve.
He was shamed.
He was shamed. So he's going to get retribution for them making him feel shameful and making him feel like a failure. And that's what happens. And if we don't know how to control it, because he was not taught at an early age on how to get in contact with his feelings. And that's what majority of these men do, because they wasn't taught. So they have to act it out, and the only way we know how to act it out is in violence. All right, let's continue on. Generating shame. I'm going to read this here. No person is born into the world in a shame state. Whatever differences of personality and endowment appear among newborn babies, every boy and girl is born into the world equipped and ready to be itself. Babies are born whole and vital. Basically then, shame must be what?
Taught
and learned. There it is. There's the key. It's inflicted upon us as children. Okay? And we're going to get into this. Shame is generated from shaming behaviors, visited upon consciously and unconsciously as we grow from infancy through childhood to adulthood. However, invisibly they do it. Shame caregivers pass on their shame to the next generation. In a word, shame begets shame. All right? And its educational impact. It is especially powerful during our early years. It is during childhood that we encode into our own unconscious the feelings of emotional patterns we are made to believe having meaning and are useful of the world we are entering. And as children, we learn swiftly and well. Once learned as a child, shaming off this kind persists shamelessly into adulthood. There it is. So our caregivers, the mothers, the fathers, we impose that on our children, and we grow up with that shame. If there was abuse in the family, whether alcohol, it could be substance, any other type of substance abuse, it could be sexual abuse, and those shame and that thing through that, and it may not literally happen to the child. It could be happening in the family, and then they'll make the child feel bad for it. Well, your mother made me do that. And then what they'll do, and they'll take that child will take that in, and if that's all he sees, he grows up, he's gonna inflict that same pain that was happening in his family on his family. You see what I'm saying?
Generational curse.
Generational curse. That's what happens. Because the shame has been taught and learned. It's been by their environment.
That's right.
So if a boy has never cried in his environment, then he's gonna hold that crying in.
That's right.
Right?
Then he's gonna react in the physical force.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely right. Absolutely. That's right. All right, but let's go down to vulnerability and shame for men.
Men see vulnerability as weakness.
Mm-hmm.
Men see shame as weakness.
Mm-hmm.
They hide vulnerability and shame under a mask of emotional control, work, status, and violence.
Mm-hmm.
How can they throw off the mask and start living in the power of vulnerability?
Okay.
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
So through all this hurt and pain that you've been going through, that you've been masking for years and years, how can you throw off that mask and start being a powerful vulnerability?
Yes, yes, yes.
It is not the critic who counts.
Mm-hmm.
It is not the man who sits and points out how the doer of deeds could have done things better, and how he falls and stumbles. The credit goes to the man in the arena whose face is mirrored with dust and blood and sweat.
Yes.
But when he's in the arena, at best he wins, and at worst he loses.
Yes.
But when he fails, when he loses, he does so darling great.
Okay, so what Theodore Roosevelt was telling us is that the credit goes to the man that's going to go out there and fight and win.
That's right.
And no matter, even if he loses, long as he goes out there and gives his best and do all he can, because see, that's where you're not shamed no more. Because if you are going through a situation in life and you're willing to go through the pain, you'll win. You'll come out of it. You may be, you may get pointed finger. Well, look what he went through. Look what happened here. Look what happened there. But out of the midst of all of that, he has went to the arena. He has did the best he can. Now he can stand tall with his head up. You see what I'm saying? So Roosevelt was trying to encouragement of his time is that, and it tells here, we're going to look at this real quickly so we can move through. The idea of dearly greatly is appealing to any man, but the question is how to achieve it without appearing weak.
The person that came to my mind was Maya Angelou. She once said that if you have not made no mistakes, you have not tried nothing new.
Yes, that's
so
right.
That's important to understand your failures when you're going. The most successful person fails and gets back up.
That's right. That's
failures
right. That's
when
right.
you fail.
And don't get back up. That's right. The scripture said, a just man falls 7 times and gets back up. That's right. That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So this statement here about shame. Shame is a focus on self. Guilt is a focus on behavior.
That's right.
You see? So there it goes back to that self thing that we talk about, we as men. Me, myself, and I.
Shame is yourself. Give us the behavior.
That's right. That's right. So we talk about the symptom and we talk about the root there. Okay? We talk about the symptom and the root. So that's how we get to those points. So we hope that you're getting something out of this about the shame, because we don't have to live in shame. You don't have to live in shame. It's your decision if you're going to stay there. All right? It's a decision. Okay, it's a behavior, it's taught and learned, but you don't have to stay there. If you're willing to express your feelings, men, get with a person, call us up. We'll talk to you. Get that out, because eventually it's going to be it's going to rot in your spirit, and eventually something's going to happen. You're going to lash out with violence because of that shame, and then you're going to prove them wrong by your masculinity or manhood per se, and act out in violence.
That's right.
That's what's going to happen. All right, let's go to man and emotion, brother.
Men and emotions. Our emotion state often dictates how we behave.
Yes.
Men and women may handle emotions in quite different ways.
That's right.
When upset, women are more likely to express their feelings directly, which
that's
are
right.
calling their friends.
Yes, that's right.
And to seek the support of friends and
yes.
family.
Yes.
Whereas men might hide their emotion or withdraw, just like in the book. In the first book, Adam and Eve, he went to Adam. He went to man. He asked, "Where thou?"
That's right. That's right.
He hid himself because he was naked. He was
ashamed. It is.
He was naked.
He was naked. That's right.
He was ashamed because he knew that God knew that.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
He wanted to hide himself.
That's
what we do today.
That's right. So true. So true. Let's go down to the 4 basics.
You have the 4 basic emotions. You have sadness.
Yes.
Anger. Happiness. And fear.
Yes. Right.
Of these 4 emotions, happiness is considered the most acceptable in society. Acceptable in society. Yet anger, fear, and sadness are universally felt by everyone.
Yes.
These emotions serve vulnerable purpose and are valuable purpose and are normally responses to threat.
Yes.
And loss. As emotions such as fear and sadness are generally not accepted, men might try to hide these from themselves and those around them.
That's right.
They feel that they should be able, quote, on their own.
Yes.
That's what we think as men. It goes back to the broadcast we did prior. About being in control and out of control.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
We think being out of control is being
in control. Yes. Yes.
But sometimes being out of control is good.
Yeah, it is. It is because that way we can, even if we think what like you were saying, sometimes it's good to be if you think you're out of control. But when you're out of control, meaning if you're in control of things around you, then everything's all right. But we think if we don't have regardless of everything, we out of control. But that don't mean that. It don't mean that. It don't mean that at all. So that's so true. So let's go down. Individuals might cope with negative emotion in one or more of the following ways.
Withdrawing from family and
friends.
friends.
We talk about that isolation. Okay.
That's right. Working long hours.
Yes, we talked about that in the meeting. We talked about that Tuesday about the guy you was telling me about.
Spending more time away from home.
There it is. That's right.
Consuming more alcohol.
Yes.
Behaving recklessly and or violently.
Yes.
And God will give me no revelation. As society, the enemy started working on us at the beginning because he knew the capability, the power, and authority that God gave us as men. So he wants us to be shameful, and it goes back to another one that you always bring up.
Yes.
Is that, and these some of the things for us being shameful. We go off from family and friends, working long hours, spending more time away from home. That's what it goes where y'all say. That's why the society is getting worse and worse because men have been taken away from home.
That's
so
right. That's right.
What they need to do for us as setting the foundation for us as household wife because the enemy started from the beginning.
That's right.
To start.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's so true. And I'm just going to briefly talk about this. Why talk about it? Why talk about your emotions? Why should we do that? Why should men do that? Well, a greater sense of isolation. If you don't talk, you're going to isolate yourself more. And what happens when you isolate yourself, you put yourself in a position like Elliot Rogers, like you said. We start thinking about the shameful things that we maybe that people have inflicted on us, or the pain, and then we're going to think about retribution or what we're going to do to let them know that you're not going to get away with that.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? So that plays a part in it. So you need to talk. Less support, helping, being available from loved ones. You need support. You need support, and that's what MSS is here for you men to be able to reach out and to touch another man that you can talk to, and you ain't got to worry about your business getting on the street, so you can have that connection. God made us and created us for relationships. So if you're not asking for the support, you put yourself, like you said, you put more dirt onto that wound or on that put more dirt onto that on the shame, and you keep covering up, and eventually you're going to feel overwhelmed. And when a man feels overwhelmed, he's going to break out sooner or later.
That's right.
All right? So
like throwing the head in the air.
That's right. Exactly right. It's going to splatter everywhere. And health issues, it can get worse as well. Your relationships can get bad. So all these things are a thing that can hurt you in the long run. All right? Let's go down to emotional suppression, and then we're going to get ready to close it out.
Sometimes serves a useful, even essential purpose. when suffering a severe traumatic injury, the body automatically passes into the psychology state of shock.
Yes.
Blocking all feelings and sensation and numbing consciousness.
Yes.
So that the injured person can better